It's time for the Rayman Origins review for the Wii. One thing you should know is that I've never played any of the original Rayman games. Well, no, I take that back. I think I played a demo of Rayman 2: The Great Escape back on the PS1 or Dreamcast. It's been so long, but all I remember is playing as Rayman and throwing these orange orbs at enemies in some kind of cave or dark place or wherever. I know, I'm probably missing out on some great games, but the point of me telling you all this is because whether or not the original Rayman games relate to Rayman Origins, I won't be comparing the originals, or any Rayman game for that matter, to this game. The story starts out with a scene of Rayman and all his buddies sleeping away in the snoring tree. Because of their unknowingly obnoxious snoring, an old lady beneath the tree gets upset and sends a bunch of dark tunes from the land of the livid dead after Rayman and company, and the heroes get imprisoned. However, Rayman escapes his cage, and it's up to him to save everyone. This is a 2D platformer. The goal of each level is to find and release the imprisoned Electoons. There are usually 3 cages which imprison the Electoons in each level, but you really only need to find the very last one at the end of each stage to progress through the world you're in. However, you'll need to find a specific amount of Electoons to receive medallions if you want to reach other worlds and bonus areas. Finding all imprisoned Electoons in each level can be challenging, which I like, but it's not overwhelming or frustrating because you can usually figure out where Electoons are because you'll hear a cry for help in certain areas in each level. You'll also want to collect looms, which can also give you medallions if you collect a minimum amount in each level. There are usually hundreds in a level, and they're not hard to find, but collecting enough to receive a maximum amount of medallions per level can be a challenge, which is good since this provides replayability. There are other things within each level you can collect, which will give you access to bonus material. In the beginning of each new world, you'll acquire a new power-up or skill like being able to glide, shrink, or dive underwater. Each level has a good mix of light puzzles and combat. As you start out, Rayman only has to get hit once in order for him to blow up like a balloon and pop, which will send you back to either the beginning of the level or to your last checkpoint. You can find an item which will give you a heart that follows you around, which allows you to get hit twice before you explode. Now some of you may be thinking, 1 hit? We only get 1 hit before we blow up? Well, yes, but don't let that scare you. The game doesn't bombard you with enemies from every angle, but just enough to give you a good challenge. Now, the later levels become more difficult, as expected, but it's still not overwhelming. Now, that being said, you will probably die a lot. However, it's not too bad because you have unlimited lives. I'm very glad Ubisoft programmed it this way. This game supports up to 4-player co-op. This was fun, but you and your teammates can get in each other's way, and you can also hit each other. This doesn't hurt your characters like enemies do, but it can disrupt the flow of gameplay, so you'll need to work together to get through each level. Playing co-op has a great advantage, because in some levels, it's difficult to acquire all the things you can collect if you were playing in single-player mode. Now you can divide up the work and get more things accomplished. Hooray for teamwork! The graphics look awesome, very colorful and vibrant, nice to look at, and hand-drawn graphics just have that certain quality and look to them which makes me appreciate the game even more. The controls are awesome as well. I will say it can take some getting used to, because there are many things to do and ways to attack with any character, but once you become comfortable with each action, it's a pleasure to play. The game is pretty funny in general. The look of the actions of some characters and enemies are humorous, but also some of the sounds from the enemies and elements within the levels made me laugh as well. Some of my favorite levels were actually water levels, which, for you knowledgeable scholars of gaming out there, will probably agree with that usually water levels can be a pain to get through. Not in this game though. The controls were very precise, and they were just overall fun to play. The boss fights were fun, but they were pretty repetitive and a little on the easy side. It's usually you riding on a bird shooting everything in sight in a 2D side-scrolling shooter. It's fun in the beginning, but gets repetitious and somewhat a little too easy. Rayman Origins is a great game. Beautiful graphics, sharp controls, fun, quirky levels, characters, and gameplay, and a nice amount of replayability. However, co-op mode, although fun, can get frustrating. The bonus characters you play as don't really have any significance in types of moves, so it's basically playing a different skin of Rayman, and the boss fights were repetitious and sometimes a little too easy. Overall though, it's still a very fun game. I bet having played prior Rayman games would help you enjoy this game even more, but if you're like me and haven't played the originals before, you'll still enjoy Rayman Origins. This game gets a 4.25 out of 5 with the title of Awesome.